Hello everyone, and today we're back into another Lumion Legacy video, and today we will talk about why Ursoul and Metronette did not make my top 15 PvP Lumions list. Just yesterday, I posted a video called the Top 15 PvP Lumions, and we talked about the top 15 PvP Lumions in the entire game. This was actually one of the hardest lists to make. This actually took like 8 hours to make, mainly because half the time I was really looking on which Lumions should make the list over others. If y'all have not seen that list, watch that video first before you watch this if you don't want any spoilers. But, yeah, literally, there could have been 15 to 20 other Lumions that could have made that list over some of the Lumions I picked. Which really just shows how good a lot of the Lumions in this game are. Some Lumions like that barely missed the list are like Helvantic, Imperior, Tatab, Wobbliss, Chartiki, Metatoad, and Revenine. Those are just a few of many Lumions that just barely missed the list. Not to mention that 3 Ubers were left out completely. Cephalops, Ursoul, and Metronette. And while a lot of people may agree that Cephalops might not be top 15 worthy, I looked at a lot of other people's top 5s, and most of them had Ursoul and Metronette in it. While yes, Ursoul and Metronette are really powerful, they did not make the top 15. And I have a few reasons why they didn't make it, which I will talk about today. First, let's talk about Ursoul. This thing hits extremely hard. It has 115 melee attack with sharp claws, which makes this one of the hardest hitting melee attackers in the entire game. Even better, this is a brawler spirit stab, while also having slap down, chase down, and even sharpen. These reasons alone could be the reasons why Ursoul is an Uber and is extremely annoying to defeat. But if you look a little deeper within Ursoul's stats and abilities that he can use in-game, Ursoul does actually have quite a few flaws. While yes, Ursoul does have Shadow Sprint to hit other spirit types with, let's keep in mind that other spirit types have Shadow Sprint to beat Ursoul. Ursoul is quad weak to Spirit, which really hurts Ursoul here. Revenine, Windolin, Dusket, and Vesperatu can all have Shadow Sprint and can beat Ursoul as a revenge killer. And while Ursoul does have double priority, it only has 75 speed. Yes, this really hurts for a wall breaker because instead of clicking Pep Jab or Slapdown to maximize damage completely, you're only clicking 40 power priority moves to get the damage off before you die. And since most spirit types outspeed you, you just can't destroy the Shadow Sprint. You just get destroyed by it. There are also certain Lumions that can just straight up wall you, like Obsidragons, Eclipse, or Kame, and even Luminami if it has heavy armor. Not to mention that Vesperatu does Ursoul's job better. The reason why I actually put Vesperatu over Ursoul is just because Vesperatu is much faster, has slapdown stab instead of just slapdown coverage, and has revival to actually get HP back. Ursoul also has a really bad melee defense, while Vesperatu has better melee bulk. While this doesn't matter too much for Ursoul's case, the extra melee bulk for Vesperatu makes Vesperatu pretty much beat most spirit types, because since it's a dark spirit, it actually is neutral to spirit instead of other spirit types, which are just weak to it. Besides Revenine and Nevermare, Vesperatu can pretty much beat any spirit type. Vesperatu also just survives longer than Ursoul in this meta because of Revival. Ursoul is an extremely dangerous Lumion, and I still think it's pretty powerful. It's definitely top 20 for me, but I don't think it deserves Uber status anymore, considering that there are ways to stop it. Despite all of these flaws, though, Ursoul is still extremely dangerous with double priority and slapdown, but those flaws just makes Vesperatu way better right now. And that's why Ursoul did not make the top 15, while Vesperatu did. Now, let's talk about Metronette. Talking about Metronette is really interesting because on one hand, you have a Lumion that is an Uber, and it's probably a top 5 Lumion. While on the other hand is a Lumion that might not even make the top 30. What am I talking about here? Let's talk about Metronette's defensive typing. It's one of the best defensive typings in the entire game. I mean, Bug is so bad offensively, so there are almost no bug types in the meta right now. And while fire types are common, you outspeed all of them besides very nimble Vocaloa, who doesn't always run a fire type move. So, yeah. But Dark Mind is one of the best defensive typings in the entire game. Only 2 weaknesses. Especially when you combine the fact that Metronette has 105 speed with Dark Surge, meaning that you can flinch a lot of Loomians that you outspeed. Yeah, Metronette is pretty good. But there is one move from Metronette's move pool that makes Metronette broken. Hypnotize. It's a move that you can put any Loomian besides mind types to sleep. And since Metronette has Dark Surge to hit those mind types, it's pretty much free to click Hypnotize, and then you click 2 free Piece of Minds and then sweep. Problem with Hypnotize is that you either have to drop Pyrokinesis or Flabbergast, and both moves are really important to use. If you drop Hypnotize to run 3 moves in Piece of Mind, you lose your free Piece of Minds and makes it a lot harder to actually get the sweep. Because just like Ursoul, it doesn't get health back unless it has Health Amulet. The Hypnotized Metronette, in my opinion, is at least a top 10 Loomian, but since Metronette loses fire coverage for metal types, or Mind Stab for toxic types, I couldn't have put it above any Loomians in the top 15. Not to mention that if you drop Hypnotize, it would barely make it in the top 30 in my opinion. Metronette needs at least 2 Piece of Minds in order to be extremely threatening because it doesn't have an ability to actually increase its attack, so it relies on putting Loomians asleep to get that opportunity, the Piece of Mind. But once it doesn't have that option, it simply doesn't perform as well compared to other Loomians in the top 15. Overall, I can see why it's considered an Uber because Metronette is extremely annoying, especially for players that doesn't follow Sleep Claw, so they just Hypno Spam. And I do actually agree with its Uber status, which is weird, considering that there are like 10 to 12 Loomians on the top 15 list that I wouldn't even consider Uber status. But for a Loomian that I kept off the list, I actually still consider Metronette an Uber, which is kind of odd. I think it is because of the annoyance of being put to sleep and then getting set up on, which makes Metronette really dangerous. That's how I feel about Metronette, an Uber that can be extremely dangerous if used the right way, but not as reliable compared to the Loomians in the top 15. Despite all of these critiques on Ursoul and Metronette, these Loomians are still extremely powerful. And if this was a top 20 list, they would have both actually been on the list. Despite both being Ubers, both Ursoul and Metronette has flaws that kept them off the list, unfortunately. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, this was only my opinion on Ursoul and Metronette. Y'all might not be bothered as much by their flaws and see their pros destroy the Loomian Legacy PvP scene. So, yeah. This was only a video about why Metronette and Ursoul didn't make my top 15. Because keep in mind, everyone's top 10s or top 15s will be different. Because, you know, everyone views Loomians in a different way. A Loomian that I might be considered good might be considered bad by other people. So yeah, it's just an opinion. That's the end of the video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!